Good morning, children. Welcome to 6th standard online science class. Today we will continue our biology lesson plant life, and in today's topic we are going to discuss about the fruits. Okay, now about the flowers. So look at the pictures. Yes, the a typical flower has four parts. The four parts grow in circles or holes. Okay, actually the flower grows in holes, that is in circles, and it has a swollen base, and that is called as thalamus. The swollen base, no, this part. This is called as thalamus. Okay, so the calyx is the first outermost hole. This outermost hole contains sepal. Okay, what is sepal? Sepal is the green color part which is attached to the stem and the flower base. No, that is called sepal. The second hole is corolla. This corolla contains the petals. The corolla contains the petals. Petals are nothing but the colorful part of a flower. The colorful part of the flower is called petals. And third one is anthrosium. Anthrosium consists of stamen. This stamen in turn consists of filaments and anther. The thin tube, no, that is called as filament, and the head of the tube is called as anther. This anther bears pollen. Pollen, the powdery substance, yellow color powdery substance present in hibiscus flower. Have you seen that? That is called as pollen. The next part is the next hole is gynoecium. This gynoecium is also called as pistil. Gynoecium is also called as pistil. It consists of one or more carpels. Okay, this stamen is the male reproductive part, and the carpel is the female reproductive part of a flower, and this contains the ovary. Carpel contains the ovary, stigma and a style. Ovary, stigma and a style. The swollen part, bulb like structure, that is called ovary, and a long tube is called style, and the tip of the tube is called as stigma. So these are the arrangement of a typical flower. Okay, when you cut out this ovary, you can see the ovules present in the ovary. Okay, are you able to see, children? So you can see the ovules present in the ovary. Small dot like structures will be present. So that is nothing but ovules, which were later developed into fertilization. After fertilization, this ovules will be developed into fruit. Okay, so some flowers do not have all the four holes. So gynoecium, either they contain either gynoecium or anthrosium. Such flowers are called unisexual flowers. It is not compulsory that all the flowers will have all the four holes. So some flowers may or may not have anthrosium or gynoecium. Either one will be present. Either male reproductive part will be present or female reproductive part will be present. Such flowers are called unisexual flowers. For example, papaya. Okay, some flowers will contain both anthrosium and gynoecium. Such flowers are called bisexual flowers. Bisexual flowers, for example, rose, sunflower, etc. Is it clear, children? Okay, now the next part is inflorescence. Inflorescence is nothing but flowers growing in clusters are arranged on the stem in a specific pattern make up an inflorescence. Okay, for example, in sunflower and tuberose rose and all, the flowers grows in a particular pattern. Okay, and they are growing in clusters. Actually, these are all flowers. These are all what? Flowers only. All the flowers grows in a particular pattern. They are grow in cluster. Cluster means in group of flowers blooming there, and they are blooming in a specific pattern. This specific pattern is called as inflorescence. What it is called as? Inflorescence. Inflorescence. Do you understand, children, what is meant by inflorescence? So This each flower, the flower, each flower in an inflorescence is called as floret. Each flower in an inflorescence is called as floret. So here, this way, this is actually single flower. Okay, this is actually what a single flower, and that is called as floret. You understood, children? Hope you so. Now we are going to learn about the pollination. This word you might have heard in your lower classes. So what is pollination? Actually, I told you, in the anther bears the pollens. Am I right? The anther bears the pollen grains. So since anther is the part of a male reproductive unit, this pollen grains also consider as male reproductive units. Okay, children. So they are from where they are produced? They are produced from stamen. So the transfer of pollen grains to the stigma from the pollen to the stigma is called pollination. So this pollen grains transferred into stigma, that process is called as pollination. Do you understood what is pollination? This pollen grains, no, when they transfer to the stigma, that process is called as pollination. Understood? Yes. Wind, animals, water, and animals such as insects acts as agents of pollination. Wind, water, and animals such as insects, they are agents of pollination. They understood what is pollination? The transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma. From the anther to the stigma is called as pollination. Which helps for pollination? The wind, water, animals, insects helps in pollination. The pollination is of two types. What are they? The two types of pollination are self-pollination and cross-pollination. If the pollen grains of the same flower, pollen grains from the anther of the same flower is transferred to the stigma of the same flower. So the the pollination takes place within the plant. Then we call we call them as self-pollination. It may be sometimes this transfer can take place with the other plant but of the same kind, same type of the pollination happens within the plant or either within the plant or the plant of same type. Such pollinations are called as self pollination. What they are called as? Self pollination. Do you understand? If the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to stigma takes place within the plant or the other plant, but that plant should be of the same kind. Okay, such transformation or such pollination is called as self pollination. If this pollination is occurring between two different plants, then we call it as cross pollination. We call it as what? Cross pollination. You understood what is self pollination and cross pollination, children? Yes. As I told you, this pollination is supported by wind, water, and insects, isn't it? I told you. Am I right? So if the wind carries the pollen grains and the transformation takes place means, then we call it as pollination takes place by wind. If the pollination is carried out by water, if the pollen grains floats on the water and reaches the stigma of the other plant, then we call it as pollination by wind. If it is in the case of in the case of animals, look at that is insects, especially bees. No, the bees and butterfly just suck the nectar, and while sucking the nectar, they fly to flower. So the pollen grains will be stick to their legs, and it will be carried out to the next plant. So such pollination is taken place by the insects. Do you understood, children? Hope you understood today's class and enjoyed the class very well, children. Those who have completed the classwork already, short answers of this lesson and book exercise, very good, well done. Those who have not completed, still yet to complete and report in the group without fail, children. Those who have already completed, read the question answers and the book exercise thoroughly, children. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe, obey your parents. Meet you in the next class.